Now, one thing many of us don't want to waste is the opportunity to have children. But in 2023, Australian women are waiting longer than ever to become a mum. And as a result, they're choosing to freeze their eggs.
I love you, I love you. Life has meaning, it's very beautiful. It's really full of purpose and meaning, and love, so much love.
Eli is Naomi's miracle baby.
Basically, I had a boyfriend for 6 years. We separated pretty late, and then I had a business that was thriving and I just couldn't meet the right person. And then I was thinking, oh my God, if I'm not gonna take action now, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna have a child.
At 36 years old, Naomi took matters into her own hands and froze her eggs.
I felt very scared, I was really fearful. But I thought, if I'm not gonna do it now, then I won't have any chance to have a child. And that was my biggest fear.
7 years later, at 43 years old, Naomi used her frozen eggs and gave birth to Eli.
Is it the best decision you ever made?
Absolutely. It's the best. He's very cheeky, he likes to play, he likes entertainment, he loves books. My mummy loves me.
For Naomi, life as a single working mum has its challenges, but she says she wouldn't have it any other way.
I would probably be miserable. Wow, really, really sad. Because I was really sad before. I had a good business, I had money and everything. I went on holidays, had lots of friends around me, and everything seemed to be perfect, but it was empty.
Typically, freezing eggs after the age of 38 has a much lower chance of success than freezing eggs at a younger age group.
Dr. Peter Illingworth is Medical Director at IVF Australia. His advice is clear: get on with it.
When a woman goes through a cycle to freeze her eggs, what she does is she takes the drugs that are normally used in IVF to stimulate the eggs on her ovaries to grow. She would do that for about 12 days and then have a procedure carried out to collect the eggs from her ovaries, usually under an anaesthetic.
The eggs are collected by ultrasound, taken to a lab to be assessed, then mature eggs are frozen by a rapid freezing technique and stored at -200 degrees for as long as required. But Dr. Illingworth warns it's not a sure thing, and the younger you are, the better chance of success.
You can't tell at the time that the eggs are being frozen how well those eggs will grow once they come out of the freezer. As we go into the future and technology continues to improve, the prospects of success for men and women having their children will continue to slowly improve. However, the challenge of women in their early 40s, worried about having a family, is one that I think will remain with us for a very long time indeed.
It's obviously not something I want to have to use, but why not have sort of this backup plan or another option for a potential family in the future?
32-year-old Kimberly froze her eggs in her 20s. The journalist was inspired to think about her own fertility after interviewing another woman who struggled to start a family.
I think the hardest part of the whole process was that I didn't have anyone around my age to turn to. I was in the minority of women in their 20s to actually go through this process for a non-medical reason.
Focused on her career, Kimberly says she didn't want to miss her opportunity to one day have children.
I'm a really independent person and I've never relied on anyone, and I am a workaholic, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I know I want to have children, so I want that option. But I froze 12 eggs at the time, and there's no guarantee that any of those eggs will even give me a baby. At least then I would know I've tried absolutely everything. So if it didn't work, I wouldn't feel guilty and say, why didn't I do this when I was younger, when I knew it was an option?
There's no doubt that there are real drawbacks to freezing eggs. It is not always a straightforward procedure. One of the drawbacks is the cost of it. It can take several $1,000s to freeze a few eggs. And that's fine if it gives you a guarantee of having a family in the future, but given the uncertainty of frozen eggs, that's a big decision for women to take.
The cost of egg freezing is generally around $9,000, and there are further fees associated with embryo creation later in the journey.
You can't put a price on a potential future family. You can always replace a car, you can always replace a house, but you can't replace your eggs.
Over the last few years, we've steadily seen more women coming forward in their late 30s or early 40s to seek advice and to think about what is the right thing to do for them. Sometimes those decisions are not easy, and the women involved go through a lot of stress and sometimes distress in trying to have their family in these sometimes very difficult circumstances. You should try and have your family as soon as you have the chance to do so.
Baby Eli's just celebrated his first birthday, a huge milestone for Mum and Bub.
It's another option if you can't find a partner and if you don't have time to go on dates and if you're busy and you have a good career and you know, or you just don't feel like, you know, like you don't want to be a mum now, you want to be a mum when you're 40.
Do you plan on having more children, expanding your family?
I would love to have another baby, but I might need a bit of time.